We squeezed through crowds of people sporting bikini tops, shorts, sandals, and sunglasses, some cheering for their favorite floats, most shaking their jiggly body parts, in rhythm and off rhythm to the melange of thumping beats. With my mother shouting from behind for everyone to stay together, we managed to find a shady spot from which we can see the parade. Dark-skinned, bare-chested men in red and black headbands float past on a truck, playing and dancing to steel drums, and children decked out in costumes with colored feathers and strands of sequins expertly move along beside them, blowing on whistles to the beat, which is deafening and infectious. I want to dance, but don't know how, and glance enviously at a pale blonde girl, coconut sunscreen melting down her face, who dances to this music as though she's done it all her life. I wonder if I could at least sway to the beat without getting lectured by my mother or grandmother. Apart from the twins and my sister, who are jumping about and pointing to their favorite costumes, everyone else in the family stands still, observing the carefree dancing with serious attention. My grandmother has already begun her expected tirade about the debauchery she is being forced to observe. Hi Allah, God preserve us, she says, automatically adjusting her large white dupatta to more fully cover her head. This music is too loud, I'm going to go deaf. And these people have no shame at all. At this, she points a finger into the parade. Look at that woman's costume, there's nothing hidden from view. We all glance over to see a slim black woman wearing an elaborate, sparkling silver headpiece with matching sequins barely covering her breasts and silver lame hot pants. She shakes her hips and winks at my grandfather, who is following her movements with his video camera as she passes by. What do you expect from these people? They were all slaves. Let them celebrate their freedom, he retorts, and continues to videotape the event. I feel relieved that no one around us appears to understand Urdu or Hindi. After a few minutes of fidgeting and trying to keep myself from moving to the music, I decide that I need to take action. The kids are playing a game of spotting costumes. My grandfather is busy with his videotaping, and my mother and grandmother are once again counseling my aunt on how to deal with her husband, who never seems to be home and whom she keeps threatening to divorce. Only my father looks tired and lost in thought, not really seeing the parade. This is boring. Everyone else around us is having fun, and I want to have fun too. I'm going to go watch the parade from that corner. It's less crowded, I tell my mother. She stops speaking to my aunt and glances over to where I am pointing. There's no shade over there, you'll get dark, she cautions. Here, wear this. She removes the Canadian Tire visor she'd been wearing and gives it to me. I say nothing, but resolve to take it off as soon as I'm out of sight. Before I can escape, my sister grabs my hand, exclaiming that she wants to wear the visor too. My mother calls out, "Take your sister with you," and I know, without looking at her, that this is an order. I pass the ugly visor to my sister, who happily sticks it on her head, though it is too big, then take her over to the corner where I can escape my family. Finally, I begin to enjoy the parade. Luckily, my sister is not yet in a whiny mood, and grabbing her little hands, I swing her arms back and forth, occasionally pointing to interesting floats and costumes as they go by. Dancing with her, I don't care as much if I look silly, and when Amina begins to sway her hips, I do the same. At that moment, I feel a tap on my shoulder. Alia? I turn around and gasp in surprise. It's David Ali, one of the cutest guys from school, who was in my history class last year. I really like him, but we never get much of a chance to talk. He's always with his friends, and I've been too shy to just go up to him and start a conversation. David, what are you doing here? I ask, then look down at his feet, realizing what a dumb question that is. I'm still trying to absorb the shock of seeing him, and simultaneously worrying about how awful my hair must look, and whether or not he will be able to see the pimple from this angle. I came down with some of my brother's friends, he says, nodding toward a group of guys jumping up and down to the reggae rhythms coming from the float passing us by. He pauses, adjusting his sunglasses, then clears his throat. How about you? Oh, yeah, I came with some cousins, I say, gesturing vaguely behind me, figuring that it is not a complete lie. I don't dare point out to where my family stands, staring statue-like at the lively spectacle. He nods, looking behind me with some puzzlement, and goes on to make conversation about his summer activities. I chat with him happily, feeling thrilled that the boring family trip has brought about such an exciting event. I can't wait to get home and share every detail with my friend Farah. After several minutes of conversation, he shuffles his feet and says he should probably get back to his group. Waving goodbye, he calls out, "See you next month at school?" I nod blissfully, already imagining the two of us as a couple. With the loud beat reverberating in my ears, I feel a burst of energy and spin around to grab my sister and jump up and down in celebration. Except that she is no longer standing next to me. I glance around quickly, left, right, behind me. She is not there. Thank you.